Okay, so you know how sometimes you come across these like really simple statements, but they just hit you?
Yeah, totally. I know exactly what you mean.
You sent us a few of those, and they all have to do with how we shape our lives, through our daily actions like routines and habits.
Yeah, those everyday choices we make.
Exactly. So we're going to do a deep dive on these statements.
Basically, what we want to do is help you really get what these statements mean, like the underlying mechanisms at work.
Right. And then see how those can help you grow as a person.
Exactly. How can we use these ideas in a practical way?
So the first one that really jumped out is this. You will never change your life until you change your routine.
Right.
Pretty powerful stuff, right?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, but also kind of
It's
intense.
like a wake-up call.
It is. It's saying if you want to make some like big changes in your life, well, you got to look at the everyday things you do.
The patterns you've built up.
Exactly. And those are often the things we don't even think about. They're
Yeah.
just automatic.
But the foundation.
Right. It's like you were saying about those simple statements. They're simple, but they're the foundation.
Yeah, and this idea of routine, it really connects to the power of habit, which is something we talk about a lot on this show.
It's huge EE. And this statement kind of flips the script, you know?
How so?
Well, we often focus on these big goals we want to achieve,
Right.
but this statement forces us to look at those small, everyday actions that we usually just do without thinking.
It's like those routines are like the invisible structure of our lives.
A blueprint.
Yeah, and if that blueprint isn't leading you where you want to go, then you got to make some changes.
Exactly. You got to redraw those lines.
So when you hear this statement about changing your routine,
Yeah.
what comes to mind for you? Like in your own life?
Well, it makes me think about how we all have areas where we want to grow, right?
Oh, totally.
And, for me, I've always wanted to be more knowledgeable in certain areas,
I hear that.
but simply wanting it isn't enough, you know?
It's not enough to just think about it.
Yeah, I need to actually build in time and make it a routine to read and listen and engage with that topic regularly.
So you're actively making it happen.
Right. It's about taking action and making those small daily choices that add up over time.
And that leads perfectly into the next statement we wanted to look at. Your habits define your future,
Ooh, that's a good one.
right? It really highlights that what we do consistently has this long-term impact. It shapes who we become.
It's like cause and effect, but stretched out over time.
Yeah, I love that you brought up cause and effect because it makes me think about another way to look at this, you know?
Oh, tell me more.
Okay, so think about a river carving a canyon over millions of years.
Okay. Yeah, I see where you're going with this.
It's not one big flood that creates that massive change, right?
No, it's the constant steady flow of water day after day.
Exactly. And that's how our habits work, too. These small actions we repeat day after day, they shape us over the long term.
They really sculpt our future. It's incredible.
It is. And it's kind of a big responsibility, too,
Yeah,
because it means we really got to be mindful of what we're doing consistently,
totally. Even the small things.
especially the small things.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, you are someone who values being well-informed, right?
Definitely. Always trying to learn.
And so for you, this idea of habits defining your future really underscores how important it is to make a habit of seeking out good information.
It's not just about being informed, it's about being informed consistently.
Exactly. Like even just a few minutes each day of reading or listening to something can really add up over time.
It's that cumulative effect.
Right. And it's not just about adding good habits either, right? It's also about recognizing those habits that might be holding us back.
Oh, yeah, the habits that are working against our goals.
Exactly. And sometimes those can be harder to spot because they're so ingrained in our routine.
And that brings us to the final statement, which is small daily improvements lead to massive success.
That one gives me a sense of hope.
Me too. Because it feels a lot less intimidating than trying to make huge changes all at once.
Right. It's like, okay, I can handle this.
Yeah, it breaks down those big, scary goals into these manageable daily steps.
And it shifts the focus to progress, not perfection.
What's your take on that idea of focusing on small improvements?
Well, it makes me think about learning a new language.
Oh, good example.
Trying to learn everything at once would be impossible. You'd just get overwhelmed.
You'd give up before you even started.
Exactly. But if you commit to learning just a few new words or phrases every day,
It becomes manageable.
right, and over time, those small efforts really build up,
So it's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent.
Exactly. And that consistency is what leads to those massive results in the long run.
So to sum it all up, it seems like real lasting change doesn't come from these like giant leaps forward.
No, it's about the small steps we take each day.
And by making those small changes to our routines and building those positive habits, we're actually shaping our future.
Exactly. We're taking control of the direction we're headed.
And these three statements, they all work together. It's like this feedback loop.
Totally. Like routines lead to habits, and then those small improvements within those habits.
They lead to success over the long term.
It all connects.
So as you're listening to this and thinking about your own life, I want you to consider this. What's one small daily habit you could start today that would move you towards the future you want? Just one small thing to get started.
It could be anything. Just something that feels achievable for you.
And remember, even the smallest actions can have a big impact over time.
Just start small and be consistent. That's the key.
Great advice. Thanks for diving into this with me.
Of course, always happy to chat about this stuff with you.
Until next time.
See you then.
Bye.